Welcome back to another episode of. I always imagine that when I sit back, like, what if I missed my seat entirely? That would be wild. Welcome back to another episode of Foolies Fridays. Foolies Fridays. All right. Um. Yeah, so I'm Alex, and I'm also called Nemo, and I'm also called Traumatic and Neems, and now I've been called Nightcrawler because I'm always up in the wee hours of the night, doing good for the world because I think Nightcrawler is a good character for the most part. And my message is really simple for you guys. Had a long conversation with my friend. I won't mention her name, but I do remember you. Amazing young lady. She sings and she's very talented when she wants to be. So I still will throw shade at you. So that's that. And we were just talking, or I was ranting about how people just aren't asking for the opportunities to be great. So you meet the CEO of the company and you shake hands and you get his card or you get her card and then you give him yours and you hope that something happens, but like, why don't you ask them for that 10, 15, 20 minutes to sit down and grab coffee together because you want to change the world and you want to find out how they've done it so far. I don't think we're asking for the right opportunities. We're not asking to get into those seats that are truly going to elevate us. And if you don't ask for something, like, I can't give you nothing. I can't bless you with whatever you deserve if you're not asking. So if you don't ask me for a shot, if you don't ask me for an opportunity, even if you think I may say no, if you don't ask, how will you know what will happen in your career for you? And not to say when you meet somebody, literally ask for something that benefits you. Maybe you need to start asking questions that benefits them. What troubles are your company having this year? What are some highs and lows that you've learned from this journey you've been on as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a doctor, as a lawyer? Like, what are the tough and critical things that young lawyers, young engineers, young filmmakers, young audio guys, young, nurses, young teachers, what aren't we doing? Asking the questions sometimes just opens up the door. So one, you're not asking for anything, period. Two, you're not asking anything critical when you do meet the people who are at the top level. So what are you asking for your own life? Are you asking yourself the critical questions? How will I get there? What do I need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Who is it that I admire in this industry? Have I done my research in this industry enough to know who the top players are? Now that I know who the top players are, what steps do I need to take to get in the same room as these top players? I don't care if you're year one into the business or year 15. If you're not asking yourself the right questions, how will the doors open for you, period? So you're not asking for anything. You're not asking to get to that next level. You're not asking the right things. You're asking things you could have Googled. You're asking things you already know. And you need to ask to get into those places. So let's say you got a conference in town, you can't afford it. $8,000. You know you can't afford it. Great. Why don't you ask if you could volunteer? But they're going to say no. You weren't going to be there anyways. So if they say no, it's okay. Why don't you ask? You didn't ask. You could have been in the room at this $8,000+ conference with the top speakers in the game because maybe you want to get into motivation or maybe you want to go to an event like social media marketing world. Like, you want to get into these big playgrounds. The nursing convention of all nursing convention, the lawyer conference of all lawyer conference. But you just didn't ask. Maybe just asking the invite person or the person who organized the event, hey, look, I don't got it, but I really need to meet these people. I'm really trying to get to the next place in my career, especially if you're fresh out of college or maybe you're a freshman in college, even better. I can't tell you how many doors opened for me just because I asked. I went to a conference down in Fort Lauderdale a few years back. Some of my homies can tell you I went down there with $0. Zero. How did I get around? How did I get into events? How do I, like, I asked. I went to the door and I was like, look, I need to be here. I just don't have the money. What can you do for me? How can you swing this for me? Please. I just need this spot. I had to humble myself. Please just let me in. Like, please just allow me to be here. That's it. And the door started opening. The door started opening for me just because I asked the right questions. So, my friends, you need to be asking questions of yourself to others, to the people you want to be like. Take all that information and figure out how you can make the best version of yourself. And when you ask these questions, and if any of those answers require you to start working, start grinding, start putting in the time, the effort, start putting in the energy, then you need to do it. Because you're doing a lot of talking, and the actions aren't really reflecting that area that you want to be in, that place that you want to go into. And so don't get caught up asking too many questions, and to the point where you're not even moving anymore. But ask those questions that help propel you. Get those opportunities to network with the right people, sit down with the right leaders, and figure out how you can provide value to them. That's the last thing that you're missing. You're not providing value to anyone. You're just asking things to benefit you. Ask the right questions and ask how can you help. Oh, you need volunteers? What if I got you 3 or 4 people? Ask your homies, look, off the strength, please. I'm trying to get good with this guy, this girl who runs this company. I told him I needed 3 or 4 volunteers. Can you help your girl out? Cool. If you get it, great. If you don't, it's okay. Explain that to him. Hey, it's just me and one other person. The other 2 couldn't make it. But you need to start asking the right questions to get you into the right spaces, to help change your life and the life of others. So I hope that message makes sense to y'all. Of course, it's not about me. It's about God. And in the comment section, if you could be any place in the world right now, where would that place be? Could be fictional, could be non-fictional, could be in the country, out of the country, in the state, wherever you'd like to be. If you could be there right now, where would that place be? I love y'all incredibly. Holla at your boy. Peace out.